today with a public service announcement. That's right, a warning to civil society to not be seduced by adjectives and generalizations. For example, a report that recently came out. World mayors at Vatican urge bold climate agreement. So you see these kinds of words like bold, aggressive, unprecedented. Those are the kind of words that the mainstream media is using when they describe what's happening in terms of dealing with climate change. This is very, very, very misleading. One is that the generalization, the adjectives aren't actually happening. You can't see bold. It says bold climate agreement. Okay, well, what is that? It's an adjective. It isn't actually happening. Bold's not there. So then when you read down to what is actually happening, what you see is that the mayors, meeting with the Pope, have committed to reducing emissions by 80% by 2050. All right, that's what they're characterizing as bold. Now, it might be bold, but only in a historical context. Now, given that for a long time we weren't doing anything, it doesn't take much to actually be characterized as bold. That's not the context we should be looking at the facts of climate change and the facts of what's being done for climate change. Well, the context we need to be looking at what's happening in climate change is the context of workability and the solution to actually end it in time. So, back to the emissions, reducing emissions by 80% by 2050 is grossly insufficient for what's needed to end global warming. If we reduce emissions by 80% by 2050, if that's the path we take, we will blow past the critical 1.5 degree window of safety in about 20 years. So we shouldn't say that it's a bold climate agreement, we should say that it's an insufficient climate agreement. It's like this. If your house is on fire, do you want the firemen to come and take bold action? No. You want the firemen to come and put out the fire. You don't care if it's bold or not. All you care is the fire burning or is the fire out? Our house is on fire, and the actions that are being planned to take, including this agreement, are insufficient to put out the fire. So these kind of generalizations, bold, aggressive, all of that, don't give you any access to what's happening or any kind of access to action, so they're just not useful. So what you want to do is make sure that you get the facts and then ask the question, okay, is what they're doing sufficient to end it in time? And if it isn't, that's where we got to get to work. So beware, 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 my friend, of the seduction of the adjectives and the generalizations. They're only there to make you feel good about the situation, not to give you any real power.